What up, y'all? It's your boy Scott here. And make sure you click on that subscribe button right there so you don't miss out on one episode if I'm not going to hold you. And while you're there, cut on those notifications as well, drop a comment, and join in the discourse. I'm not going to hold you. You got all this news about maybe the Bears aren't going to get as much as what they thought. They don't know how many teams are actually interested in Justin Fields. We heard the same thing from a couple other people. Josh Schrock, who's on the Bears beat, he said it last night on Football Night in America. Jay Hood said it's a little bit of smoke screen. Dante said it's a little bit of Spurs smoke screen. Dante, why do you feel a smoke screen, and what do you think is going to happen like once we get a week from now away from the combine?
Because I think we've had such a heavy focus on everything that Ryan Poles is doing and how he's really positioning himself to do what's best for the Chicago Bears. And I think it's the same. We have to remember it's the same mentality for everybody. And so just like right when the week started, we heard three completely different reports. One was saying, it's still 50-50. One was saying, no, Caleb's definitely God. Then we had somebody come out of left field talking about, well, I think people might be disappointed and they might, trade the pick and Justin and go with, one of the other quarterbacks. So I think it's one of those things where these are all leverage plays. And while we've sat here and speculated about his market for months now, I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to those two teams, Pittsburgh and Atlanta. And so when you have a report like this is them, I think, in my opinion, like I said on the other show, just saying, okay, we know you're taking Caleb. So let's try to get this price down a little bit. We had heard things about maybe a 2 and a 4, 2 and a 3, things like that. So I think, even if the return may not be multiple picks, I do think you get a second round pick from Justin Fields from somebody. I don't think it's one of those dire situations where you're forced to, take a third or a fourth. Like this, like a third or a fourth. I don't think that's going to happen. I think at the end of the day, he'll go for a second. And it may be a surprise team, like we said earlier, because it may be a team that says, hey, we're going to come in and make you compete. And then we'll see what he's really made of in that aspect. So I think, more than anything, this is line season. We've been seeing it all week. Let's not change now because we know who our quarterback is going to be. Like I said, I just think it's line season.
That's a good point too. And also, if you're a Bears fan, you should want this to be line season. You want to get as much as you possibly can for Justin Fields. Like I feel like we have this idea of who he can be. Like I said, I still think he can be a bottom 10 quarterback. From 6 through 10, if he's in the right system. I always felt like maybe first was probably out of the realm possibility, but if you can get you a high second, you know what I'm saying, something that is basically a first round pick, that's an amazing. I'm not buying it that he's only going for a third. I'm not buying that whatsoever. And if that's the case, if I'm Ryan Poles, I wait as long as possible before I do that. I'm just not going to give you a guy who's shown as much as he have and basically put in a Trey Lance range. That to me is ridiculous. So I think it's a mix of both. I think there is some truth to it that at the moment we don't know, if there's anybody that interested. But I think in a week from now, when we're not we about 10 days from now, when we're at the legal tampering period and teams have an idea of who they have a realistic shot at between really just Kirk Cousins and mainly Russell Wilson, because I'm pretty sure that it's all been said that Baker's going back to Tampa. Then you're going to start seeing people circling around. I know you got the J.J. McCarthy hype, him rising up in the ranks, but if I have a choice between J.J. McCarthy and Justin Fields, to me, it's a no fucking brainer. Mikey, what do you think about the reports that's been coming out there? Do you think smoke screen? Do you think there's some truth to it?
I think it's a little bit of both, a smoke screen and some truth to it. We have to put context to it. Trading for Justin Fields, if you're gonna give up a high second round pick or or multiple picks in the third round, fourth round, then that would come under the premise that you're going to go ahead and pick up that fifth year option for 24, $25 million a year. So there's also a financial component that ties into trying to acquire somebody like Justin Fields, whereas Russell Wilson, he's probably going to be cut. Denver's going to pay a lot of that money, and a team can just sign him for whatever they agree to. So it's kind of it really is, it boils down to what is his market. Does he fit in Atlanta? He fit in Atlanta under Arthur Smith. I'm not sure he fits in Atlanta under Zach Robinson's offense and what they're trying to do. That is a timing offense. That is Sean McVay disciple. So can Justin Fields read and react and get the ball out quick where he needs, go where he needs to go with the ball, when he needs to go with the ball, intermediate routes, stuff that we think he needs to improve on. So I don't know if he's a fit there. The Steelers, that is the one to me that doesn't make the most sense as far as from a Steelers standpoint. I don't know why they're reluctant. Maybe it's just their poker face, but I don't know why they're reluctant to add competition with Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
No, they have a ready-made defense. They have some skilled weapons, skilled players on the outside, and George Pickens, Deontay Johnson. You got Jalen Samuel. You got Najee Harris. You have a decent offensive line. Like that to me is a no-brainer for them. So I don't know. It might be a little bit of both. We'll see. Like you said, come legal tampering time. One of the big things that Ryan Poles likes to do, and we've noticed this, is he likes to have clarity going into free agency. Last year, he did not like any of the available free agent wide receivers. So that's why he was so adamant on getting a DJ Moore and getting a DJ Moore before free agency started. So that way he knew, hey, I crossed this off my list. So I think Ryan Poles is going to want to know what he's working with as far as the financials, draft capital. What is he going to have to eat something, as far as, give up a pick to attach it to Justin Fields? So I think, like you said, around that legal tampering part, and then around the legal tampering part, and at the end of this combine weekend, teams should know whether they are in on a Kirk Cousins or a Joe Flacco or a Russell Wilson or a Baker Mayfield. For the most part, that shit should already be, yeah, Kirk wants to go to Atlanta, we'll talk next week. Or Kirk's not looking to go there. He really wants to go back to Minnesota or explore somebody, maybe go to Denver and be with a legendary coach like Sean Payton. So everything should come to fruition next week, and we'll have a clearer understanding of what his actual market is.
And that's also, too, what's confusing to me about the Steelers thing. Like, anybody with eyes can see that Kenny Pickett is tough. Like, and that's why they went to Mason Rudolph. Like, you have the opportunity, and I know we said this in the main show about how Mike Tomlin will ride Justin hard, pause. But that's what Justin needs. And honestly, Mike Tomlin moved mountains with maybe one of the worst quarterback rooms in football. You bring a guy like Justin in, pair him with George Pickens, pair him with Arthur Smith, who you just said, Mikey, would be a great fit for him, and I agree. To me, it's a no fucking brainer. Like, I don't even know why they're not entertaining it. Bang, what do you think about the reports that's coming out today in Justin's market? And do you think it's capped, like that nobody wants him, or you think it's a smokescreen?
It's lion season, so I don't know. Like, I think I'll say this: if Justin's not traded by March 11th, then we know something is not right when it comes to his trade value. I even said the other day, even before all of these press conferences and all of this stuff, that basically, like, look, it's March 11th. You got to go through the camp. Feel like if you're comfortable with Caleb or any of these other quarterbacks, once this combine is over, the team reassessing everything, I still think that there is some type of skeleton deal in place with a specific team. We was just waiting for this combine shit to be over with. And once the combine shit is over with, then the price of the trade is probably going to fluctuate and all of that stuff too. But I just don't really trust anything from anybody until the draft actually happens. So it could be smoke screens, it could be true. But as you even said, it's a lot of misinformation that's out there. So it's definitely could be one of those situations.
That paper on this player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not